هيا ننظر على غير موعد نادي الألعاب الرياضية. هوب، اثبت. حسن، هذا اتزان جميل. إن هذه الفرقة التي نراها فرقة من فرق تتبع أساليب عدة لتعلم الفرد منا كيف يحمل جسمه متزنا، وتعلمه القوة ومهارة في الحركة، وتكسبه كفاية في الجسم عامة، ثم أشياء أخرى تكتسب من مثل هذا النشاط. ولمعرفة هذه الأشياء هيا بنا نلتقي ببعض أفراد هذه الفرقة. هذا محمود كامل، تأمل جسمه، إنه كامل النمو وليس فيه شحم كثير زائد. وهذا محمد فريد، تأمل خفته وتيقظه وانشراحه لما هو فيه. وهذه سميحة سعد، إنها مثل لاتزان الجسم والثقة بالنفس. إن أي عضو في هذا النادي يستطيع أن يقص علينا كيف انتفع بهذا النادي، ولنتخذ من الأعضاء 3: محمود، وسميحة، ومحمد. ولنبدأ بمحمود. منذ عام كان يشكو من سوء صحته وضعفه، وكثيرا ما أصابه البرد والتهاب الحلق، وكل ما دار من مرض حوله أصابه لقلة مقاومته، وأحيانا كانت تصيبه أمراض أكثر خطورة، وأخيرا ينقه من هذا المرض. وقد وصف له الطبيب برنامجا للصحة ذات 3 شعب: أولاها النوم المنتظم، وثانيتها الطعام المتزن، وثالثتها الرياضة، وذلك عندما يتم شفاؤه ويقوى. وأعطاه مدربه نصائح لا بد منها. أولها: خذ ما أنت فيه على مهل، ولا تكد نفسك. وبيان محمود يعد جسمه ويقويه ليشترك فعلا في لعبة كرة السلة، كان يتعلم كيف يلعبها. ومر الزمن فزاد محمود قوة، وزاد في قسطه اليومي من النشاط. إن المهم أن يتصل النشاط وينتظم، وهذا تمرين يربي به محمود عضلات البطن. ولم يمض طويل حتى شعر محمود بفوائد هذه الرياضة المنتظمة: شيء قليل من المران كل يوم، هذا تمرين آخر يشد في جذع الجسم ليقوي عدة من عضلات. إن محمود لا يزال يصيبه البرد في بعض الأحيان، ولكنه الآن أقوى مما كان، فهو يستطيع أن يتخلص مما يصيبه من مرض أسرع مما كان. وشيء وجده محمود: إنه يستطيع أن يحسن صحته ويلتذ من تحسينها. ومن المؤكد أن كل من هنا في النادي يتمتع بصحة حسنة. ثم سميحة سعد، ما قصتها؟ لقد قلنا إنها مثل حي لاتزان الجسم والثقة بالنفس، ولكن منذ زمن غير بعيد كانت سميحة تشعر بخمود وخمول وبارتباك وحيرة فيما تفعل. نعم، كانت سميحة شديدة الخجل. وفكرت سميحة فيما تصنع لتكسب الأصدقاء كسبا سهلا. ومضى يومان وهي لا تزال تفكر، ثم جاءها على غير انتظار مثل مما يصنع الناس في كسب الأصدقاء: حسن، اشتركي في اللعب. ولكن لا، إن سميحة لا تجرؤ، إنها تخشى أن ترتبك فيما تصنع. المهم في هذا الموقف أن يستطيع المرء أن يلعب. وخالت سميحة أنه لا بأس من تجربة، ولعلها إن هي مهرت في اللعب أن تكسب لجسمها الاتزان ولنفسها الثقة. وأخيرا خطت سميحة خطوتها الأولى الصغيرة والخطيرة، وبها بدأت تعالج النشاط الرياضي. وإلى جانب البادمنتون قامت سميحة بتمرينات بسيطة تتعود فيها على التحكم في عضلاتها لتكسب لجسمها قواما أحسن. وهذا تمرين طيب يكسب الاعتدال والاتزان. جربه عدة أيام وانظر كم زاد عدد المرات التي تقوم بها قبل أن تتعب. إن تمرينات سميحة حسنت لعبها في البادمنتون، وزادت في اتزان جسمها. إنها كانت بدأت تطلب لقاء بعض الأصدقاء، فلما جاء محمد يدعوها إلى الاشتراك في نادي الألعاب الرياضية سرها ذلك لا شك. نعم، إن سميحة اتصلت بالمجتمع وقد كونت فيه أصدقاء، وهذا من بعض منافع الرياضة. إن سميحة الآن أسعد نفسا وأصح جسما. والآن إلى محمد، ما الذي حفزه إلى الاشتراك في النادي؟ إن له بمجتمعه اتصالات عدة وصحته لا بأس بها، فما الذي أغراه بالنشاط الرياضي؟ إنه من زمن غير بعيد كان يعمل كل الوقت ولا يلعب قط. اهتم بدراسته كل الاهتمام، وهذا شيء طيب، ولكنه لم يفرغ لشيء غير هذا: شغل، وبعد ذلك المدرسة، ثم بعد ذلك ترتيب الأوراق. وهذا ليس به من النشاط الجسمي أكثر مما في الدراسة، فلا غرابة إذن أن يجد الخطأ إليه سبيلا. إن فكره يجري في قطار متصل، فأعصابه دائما في توتر، فلا عجب أن أصبح حساسا وسريع الغضب. ورأى نفسه في حاجة إلى منشط آخر يفرج عما في نفسه، فهو محتاج إلى منشط أعنف من ترتيب الأوراق وإغلاق الأدراج والإمساك بالكتب. وكان لا بد أن يهتدي بنفسه إلى أنه في حاجة إلى منشط جسماني، فقرأ هذه الفقرة: إن النشاط الجسماني يذهب بالتوتر العصبي، والتمارين الرياضية تزيد في الإنعاش وفي الدورة الدموية، وهي تنعش فتذهب بالهم والقلق. والتعب الذي يعقب التمارين الرياضية لذيذ ويؤدي إلى راحة واسترخاء كامل. نعم، لقد قرأ محمد هذا، فعزم على أن يرسم لنفسه منهجا رياضيا، وتحدث إلى مدرس رياضة، ومنه عرف بعض التمارين الرياضية التي أدت به إلى حب الشقلبة في الألعاب. جرب هذا التمرين، فهو يشد ألياف العضل وأوتاره خلف الركب. وعلى مهلك في أول الأمر لتعطي فرصة لتصلب العضل ليزول. إن محمد ينفق وقتا غير قليل في رفع جسمه بأذرعه، وهو بذلك يقوي عضل السواعد والظهر والأكتاف. وهو بتخصيصه وقتا لتمرينات كل يوم شفي من توتره العصبي وأحسن في دراسته وفي عمله. ثم الآخرون من زملائه، ما أسباب وجودهم هنا؟ لعلها أسباب كالتي جاءت بسميحة وبمحمود وبمحمد. لعلهم في حاجة إلى تمارين تزيد في قوتهم وفي احتمالهم، وتزيد في اتزانهم ومرونتهم. أو لعلهم يطلبون اعتدالا لقوامهم، أو لعلهم يبحثون عن أصدقاء. وبالطبع ليست الشقلبة هي كل شيء. الألعاب الرياضية تتضمن اللعب في الجماعة ومنافسة الجماعة للجماعة، وهي بذلك سبيل لتحسين الصحة والتنفيس عن النفوس الجائشة. وهذا الصنف من النشاط يشرك مجموعات كبيرة من العضل في الحركة. وهناك صنوف من النشاط أقل شدة ولها ميزة التمتع بالهواء في العرق. وبالطبع ليس كل واحد بمستطيع أن يشترك في فرقة رياضية، ولكن كل واحد يستطيع أن يجد من التمرينات ما لا يحتاج إلى جهاز قط، أو يحتاج إلى قليل جهاز. تحدث إلى مدرسك الرياضي في ذلك أو إلى طبيبك. إن واجبك أن تسعى أنت بنفسك لتجد السبيل إلى إعطاء جسمك النشاط الذي به يصح جسمك ويصح عقلك.
Hi everybody, I'm Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we watch old 16mm films, and I love throwing a curveball at you folks and letting you try to figure out what's going on. So that was a Coronet film. Exercise and Health, I think, is the title, but it was correctly, as you identified, dubbed in Arabic, and it had Arabic titles at the beginning and the end, but everybody in it was decidedly from Chicago. Everything was in English, but yeah. So every once in a while, in this scanning project that we're doing for Coronet, we find a film like this. So I was very excited. Mostly, when we show stuff, it's in English, occasionally in French, occasionally in German, but this is the first time we've shown something in Arabic, and it's kind of exciting. And supposedly, in talking with the folks who own Coronet, it's a Phoenix Learning Group, there was a bunch of material that they licensed and that they they either captioned or they dubbed in other languages because the world education market was a big deal. And so this is definitely westernized, and so this was probably for less conservative Muslim communities in countries, because women are not, they're wearing shorts, they're not wearing scarves, so I'm sure that some Arabic countries were like, nope, not having that. But the ones that were more Western were probably like, yeah, we can certainly show this. Anyways, I appreciate that you guys appreciate the curiosity of that. Next film we got set up. Somebody mentioned when we were showing the film about manufacture for design, or design for manufacture, the thing about machining. Somebody mentioned the film Why Study Industrial Arts, and I'm like, oh, I don't think I've shown that film. So here it is. Why Study Industrial Arts? Enjoy.
It's fun to have an idea. To be able to put that idea down on paper. To see and feel that same idea take shape in wood, in metal, in plastic, or in leather. And I like the feel of a board moving smoothly against a sharp saw. I like the smell of fresh wood chips and sawdust. The bright glare of a welder. The sharp whine of a power tool. Or the dull tap of tools on leather. I like the feel of a saw. A wrench. A plane. Or a chisel. And I feel real good because I'm a craftsman. Because I can use my mind and my hands to create. Of course, I don't know if I'd ever tell my buddies all this, because, well, sometimes they laugh when you tell them things like this.
Sorry, let me move here. Turn it, go ahead.
Hey, Joe, come on, let's go basketball practice.
Okay, but wait till I finish cleaning up here.
Hey, you making this?
Mm-hmm.
This looks as good as furniture you'd buy in a store.
It ought to. It's taken me long enough to make it.
Kind of slow, huh?
Yeah, but I've learned enough in making this one that I could probably make another in about half the time.
Hey, you like this shop course, Joe?
I like it swell. Why?
Well, didn't you ever wonder what good you'd get out of a course like this?
Yeah, I did. As a matter of fact, I went to Mr. Barnes, the shop teacher, and asked him about it. He said that with the large amount of construction work that goes on...
With the large amount of construction work that's taking place in our country's expansion, we need many more young men who are trained to design our future. We'll need architects, designers, and draftsmen. And Joe, we'll need scores of men who can translate and build those ideas on paper into the actual homes, churches, schools, and factories of the future. We'll need engineers, carpenters, steel workers, and plumbers. We'll need men who can design the machines of the future, and men who can build, operate, and repair these machines. We'll need electrical engineers, pattern makers, foundry men, tool operators, and mechanics. And Joe, these are just a few of the occupations I could name. All of these jobs pay well and afford challenges and chances of advancement to the individual.
But Mr. Barnes, the courses I take here won't actually prepare me for one of these jobs when I graduate, will they?
No, you'll probably need more training by either going on to college or by apprenticing yourself into one of the skilled trades. But believe me, Joe, the basic training you get in these courses now will give you a definite advantage over the fellow who hasn't had such experiences.
Well, that's what Mr. Barnes had to say on the value of courses like this.
Yeah, but you plan to be an engineer, Joe, and I can't see how industrial arts courses will do me much good if I should decide to go into business or something like that.
You can't, huh?
No.
Well, come on, boy, let's go to basketball practice. And meanwhile, I'm going to set you straight on a few of the facts of life. For instance, did you know that no matter what job you go into after you graduate, you'll be able to use lots of the things you've learned in your industrial arts courses. If you go into journalism or publishing, the experience you get in printing classes will give you a basic knowledge of those operations. Maybe you'll be a farmer, and knowing how to build improvements around the farm and how to repair all the equipment you use is a must for you in that operation. Or you can go on in your studies and become an industrial arts teacher, like Mr. Barnes. He sure enjoys his work, and he told me that there is always a demand for industrial arts teachers, and they're among the best paid in the teaching profession.
Hi, Bill. Hi, Joe.
I'm all right. But, like you say, what if you should go into business or selling or something like that? Well, you'll still be dealing with material. You'll still have to be able to recognize quality material and quality craftsmanship. If you're in production, you'll have to know what materials and techniques can best be combined to give you a quality product at a low cost. No, Bill, you're going to have to look far and wide to find a job that doesn't in some way or other use industrial arts training.
Well, maybe so, but hey, how about the coach? I bet he doesn't.
You bet he doesn't what?
Oh, hi, Coach. Well, we were just talking.
What about? When you start making bets on me, I'm interested. Well, we were talking about different jobs in which industrial arts training is used, and, well, Bill thinks that...
He thinks that coaching isn't one of them, huh? Well, Bill, I took some industrial arts courses when I was in school, and except for some work on the gym floor and knowing a little bit about plastics and some other materials used in sports equipment, actually it hasn't helped me a great deal with my coaching.
See?
Wait a minute. I'm glad I took those courses. Oh, we may have worked on Model A's instead of hot rods when I took my mechanics course, but in it I gained a mechanical interest and know-how that stayed with me through all these years. For instance, when I get in my car to go someplace, I feel pretty confident that in case of minor trouble, I can fix it, or at least recognize its source. Recently, my wife and I bought a home. we felt much surer that we were getting our money's worth because of my experience with industrial arts. I could tell whether good quality wood had been used, whether adequate electrical wiring had been installed. I could tell what interior woods and finishing materials had been used, and whether these were likely to stand up under wear. And since that time, I've done a lot of work on the house myself. I built on a new room and made a recreation room out of it. Most of the minor repair work that comes up around the house, I can take care of myself. There are lots of things I'd like to build now, but I just haven't got the time. But when I retire, I'll have a ready-made hobby to keep me busy. And you know, fellows, there's a feel about it that I like, of being able to visualize something and then create it with my own hands. As a matter of fact, most industrial arts courses will help coordinate mind and body. Hey, this is ball practice, not a lecture course. Let's go.
You know, Joe, I believe I will take a couple of industrial arts courses next year.
Fine, Bill.
Say, you're out, man. How do you think my car would look? Well, if I smoothed out the hood and put a new grill in it and, you know, made a real rod out of it.
Great. You saw what I did to mine, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I watch things like this and I'm like, man, I should have taken those classes in high school. I totally should have done it. I should have taken electronics. I took drafting, but it was really just not, yeah, it was all right. But I really wanted, I'd love to know how to do shop. I'd love to know how to do auto repair, all that stuff. Like, especially electronics, though, because that tends to show up in the work that I do related to repairing video decks and things like that. So, hindsight, if I could go back in time, send a message to Skip, take electronics, don't take foreign language, waste your time. All right, what do we got set up here? So this film is a cornet film, and it's pretty late in the game. And it's fascinating. The soundtrack's different, the format's different. So this is Alphabet of Space. Enjoy.
The alphabet will take you into places you have never been to. From letter A to letter Z, you'll learn about astronomy. You'll learn about a kind of place that we call space. You'll watch the rockets as they fly. You'll see the Earth from way up high. You'll look at moons and planets too. You'll see what astronauts can do. So now, with letters A to Z, come, take a trip through space with me. A is for astronauts, women and men who leave the Earth and return again. They train in a very special place and learn to travel and live in space. Here are some things each one is taught as each becomes an astronaut. B is for blast off. With roaring sound, a rocket blasts off from the ground. C is for craters. Those are holes in the ground. On the moon, you can find lots of craters around. Is a crater a hard thing to make? No, it's not. A rock hits the moon, and then that's what you got. D is for dock. When spaceships dock, they come together and then they lock. This one's going to dock quite soon, with another ship flying around the moon. E is for Earth. The Earth is a planet. A planet can't shine like a star can it? The sun is a star. It gives us light. The Earth needs the sun to make it bright. Where the sun shines, it's day. Where it doesn't, it's night. F is for face. That's what people call what they see on the moon, but there's no face at all. Its mountains and plains make it look that way. There isn't any face, no matter what people say. G is for gravity, a pull, that's right, that keeps you down and holds you tight. On the Earth or the moon, you can jump, but then gravity pulls you down again. It lets you walk around a place instead of floating off in space. To leave a moon or planet, we must push against its gravity. H is for high. Very high, you know. When the Earth looks very small below. When everything that you can see is not as big as it should be. The mountains don't look tall at all. The biggest rivers look quite small. And see that fluffy, swirling cloud? Well, that's a storm that's fierce and loud. A hurricane, a storm at sea, with winds as strong as they can be. Up here, it's just a quiet place. There is no weather out in space. I is for ice, cold and white, that helps a comet shine so bright. The head of a comet's mostly ice, you know, a mountain made of ice and snow. J is for Jupiter, the biggest planet of all. Compared to this planet, the Earth's very small. The Earth might seem quite big to you, but Jupiter's 100 times bigger. That's true. K is for knowledge. The things that we learn from space probes we send out that never return. But while they are traveling, they keep sending in pictures that show us just where they have been. They might show us Saturn's quite beautiful rings, or some of its moons. They're unusual things. It's all so amazing, the knowledge we've learned from space probes that went out and never returned. L is for light, from the sun so bright. Our sun shines with a dazzling light. Our sun is really just a star. It's hot and bright, as most stars are. When it shines there in the sky, it shows where moons and planets lie. N is for nebulas. What can they be? Clouds of dust and gas that we see. They're not nearby, they're very far away as a distant star. Some nebulas are dark as night, and other nebulas are bright. O is for orbit, a path in space that you follow while traveling around someplace. The Earth's in orbit around the sun, and so are you and everyone. P is for planets of our solar system. We only have 9, so I'm going to list them. These 4 are closest to the sun, and Mercury is the closest one. Then there's Venus, Earth, and Mars. Planets reflect light. They're not like the stars. The inner planets are really small. Most outer ones aren't small at all. Giant Jupiter has rings that aren't easy to see. Giant Saturn has rings that are plain as can be. Then giant Uranus and Neptune and small Pluto, the last one of the planets that orbit around the sun. Q is for quiet. It's quiet out there. Remember, in space, there isn't any air. Without any air, you can't have any sound. Everything's quiet without air around. You don't make a sound if you fall on the ground. And if there's something you want to say, radio's the only way.
Believe it or not, Bob, I'm anchoring the geophone module. Maybe just a little longer drilling hole than it was at the Cape.
R is for rocket. So tall, so high, like a skyscraper that can fly. S is for satellites, going around, taking pictures of the ground, showing clouds that come together, helping us predict the weather. In these and many other ways, satellites help us nowadays. T is for twinkle of a little star. How we wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. In the daytime, we have one. It's the nearest star, our sun. U is for universe, all that we see. The earth that's home to you and me. The sun and moon and planets too. The comets that come passing through. The stars that are so far away that form our galaxy, the Milky Way. On and on the universe goes, and where it ends, nobody knows. V is for vacuum. That's just empty space. Away from the earth, there's no air anyplace. We call it a vacuum, but it just means out there. If you want to breathe, better bring along air. That's what spacewalking astronauts do. But that's for the next letter we're coming to. W is for walk, the spacewalking you do. When you're out of your ship, then you have a fine view. The clouds are white and the ocean's blue. You can see the whole world. Is that something you knew? But you're so far away that no one there sees you. X is for the X-15. It flew higher than airplanes usually do. It rocketed to the edge of space, and then it glided back down to Earth again. Y is for yellow, the color of a star. Is that a color you thought stars are? Did you think stars were only white? Well, I'm afraid that you weren't right. There also are red stars and white stars and blue. The colors are different, but perhaps not to you. So the next time you have a star in sight, remember, it may only seem to be white. Z is for zero, zero G, which stands for zero gravity. This happens when astronauts orbit around. They don't feel the pull that they feel on the ground. Astronauts float, and so would you. And anything you brought would too. And so, with zero gravity, you've gone from letters A to Z. You've learned the colors of the stars. You've looked at planets like Earth and Mars. You've heard a rocket's roaring blast and watched the satellites go past. You've seen a swirling hurricane without the howling wind and rain. And so, with letters, words, and verse, you've looked into the universe. You've seen that most exciting place and had an alphabet of space.
I don't know if you noticed that logo at the end. It was Cornet MTI film video, but it was the Simon and Schuster. No, was it Simon Schuster or Harper Row? I can't remember. I think it's Harper Row logo. There was all these kind of in the '90s. There were all these kind of intersections of these educational media things where they were combining and they're separating and coming together, separating. At one point, Cornet owned Centron, and then it split off, and it came back, and it's kind of a nightmare to sort out now because working with Cornet, I'm like, okay, this film, what's the deal with this? This is Perspective Films. What's the deal with that? This is Dimension Films. Who owns that? And they're like, I don't know. So, anyways, man, I apologize. I didn't realize that rhymed. That was kind of cloying. Rhyming that's not Dr. Seuss really just grates on me pretty bad. So that was rough for me, but we're dedicated. I know that I show stuff that you can't tolerate, that it's rough on you, so I'm going to go ahead and take that. Anyways, so behind me I have a film scanner, a Cintel Blackmagic Cintel film scanner, and we have a bunch of public service announcements from the 70s. I was not able to get that advertisement reel. It's got so many bad splices on it that it's going to take a while to go through it. But I figured you still want something. You still want your 70s, whatever. So some of these we might have shown ones and twos of over the years, over the last couple of 600 shows that we've done. But this is the full thing. This is reel one. We've shown other reels in their entirety. This will go past the 2 o'clock time, but you guys will love it. There's lots of celebrities in here endorsing different nonprofit causes. There might be a couple of ads in here, but here we go. This is 1970s PSA Reel 1. Enjoy. hold on. You can't see, but this whole reel got popped off, so I'm gonna have to redo this. So in the meantime, let's watch. I don't have anything set up. All right, we'll just do this. We'll do this real quick. This happens occasionally. So this is exciting. I know you're excited. So basically, the leader was warped, and so the film kind of did what we called, made a little, made pottery, so it kind of cupped and then came off, and then there was tension issues related to that, and so the whole scanner went a little nuts. So this happens when things are on cores. So this is what we're doing, is I'm hand winding it. It made a horrible noise that you didn't hear, which is fine. Alright, so then make sure everything is running right. Get the tension on it. Wow, right off the bat it was beginning to do that. So we have a little thing that we made, which is with foam core, which helps kind of keep film like that in check so that it doesn't do what it just did. So modern technology and then old technology. Let's see if this works. All right. Here we go. Let's try that again. All right. Enjoy.
If you think drugs are a kick, you may be in for the surprise of your life. Think about it while you can still get it together.
Salvation Army 62nd, take one.
Children. The Salvation Army loves them, and for them, it opens a world full of wonder. I'm Betsy Palmer here at a Salvation Army camp, where youngsters from crowded city streets can explore another world. A place to do new things and make new friends. To test young strength in sports, to learn how to win and how to lose. A place to learn new skills. To open mind and heart to new experiences. To grow, to live and work with others, to be young and alive and full of hope, to know wonder. Salvation Army camps are places where young people discover new horizons. If you can help, send a check to the Salvation Army Camp Appeal. If you need help, call the Salvation Army.
Army ROTC offers a great opportunity for a lot of people who want to find their niche in our society.
Just being an officer is an advantage. You're part of a team. You're a leader. Everybody ought to at least look into Army ROTC.
Army ROTC. The more you look at it, the better it looks. This is Governor Dan Evans. This month, 80,000 Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts in Washington will be participating in a statewide anti-litter program. The Scouts, in association with our Department of Ecology and our state's Model Litter Control Act, will make a clean sweep across the entire state in preparation for this summer and the thousands of visitors we expect for Expo 74. I urge everyone to join with the Boy Scouts to help keep Washington beautiful and litter-free. Okay.
My mommy and daddy are mad. They're fighting. They're not talking anymore. Somebody's gonna leave. That's what happens. I know. Be friends again. Talk love to each other.
I'm a most unfortunate character who doesn't have a heart. This most important part of my equipment isn't here. I'm just an incomplete machine, a car that has no gasoline. Oh dear, I wish I had a heart. Let me tell you, it's no fun without a heart. You really need a heart. And when you don't have one, you've got to go out and look every day.
Whatever you need, see Smith. Whatever you need, see Smith.
And Smith.
Whatever you need, see Smith. And Smith. And Smith.
Boy, was I excited. Here I am, right where you can get whatever you need. Only, they didn't have it. Oh, I tried. I tried Smith all right. I tried L. Smith. Then I tried B. Smith. Then I tried T. Smith.
L. Smith the locksmith.
B. Smith the blacksmith.
T. Smith the tinsmith.
Nobody had it. Nobody. L. Smith had lots of padlocks and keys. B. Smith had lots of horseshoes. And horseshoes. And T. Smith, well, he had
tin roofs and tea kettles, what a delight. All sizes and shapes do they sell day and night.
People can't wait to hand over their dough.
But a heart for a Tin Woodman?
The answer is no.
La 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 la. La 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 la. The answer is no.
whatever you need, see Smith. What I really needed was some help to find a heart. The Smiths weren't any help, and I sure wasn't going to find any in the forest. Or was I? Sitting there feeling sorry for myself. Suddenly I was surrounded by a bunch of folks who didn't think I should be so sorry for myself.
What do you want a heart for?
To thump and thump.
What would you do with a heart, sir?
I jump for joy, I jump. And I'd really take good care of it, like the doctors say you should. I wouldn't make it overwork or treat it bad.
That's good.
I'd be careful of what I eat, make sure it's proper for my heart. I'd never eat things that would make me too fat.
That's a good start.
But would you exercise? Exercise.
Each and every day.
If the doctor said it was good for my heart, you betcha, right away.
You're bound to succeed, you've got a very good start.
And I will be a perfect woodman
with a happy, healthy heart.
When my friends and I got through asking and answering all those questions about what I do with a heart, then they told me if I really wanted a heart, there was only one way for me to get it. I had to go see the Wizard of Oz. Only he could give me a heart. But it wasn't going to be easy. I had to be very, very careful. There was the Wicked Witch and her awful friends. But there was the Good Witch, and there was Dorothy and Toto, and my friend the Lion and the Scarecrow, and the Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz was a real wizard, and he did what everyone said he would do. He gave me a heart. Of course, it's not the same kind of heart you have, but the same kind of rules apply to all hearts. First, be careful of what you eat. Second, don't eat too much. Third, get enough exercise. And oh, I nearly forgot, and this is very, very important. If you want to have a strong, healthy heart, don't smoke. That's right. Don't smoke. Now, if you follow these rules just like me, you're going to have a strong, healthy heart.
You're bound to succeed, you've got a very good start.
And I will be a perfect woodman
with a happy, healthy heart. What do you want a heart for?
To thump and thump.
What would you do with a heart, sir?
I jump for joy, I jump. I'd be careful of what I eat, make sure it's proper for my heart. I'd never, ever, ever smoke.
That's a good start.
But would you exercise? Exercise.
Each and every day.
If the doctor said it was good for my heart, you betcha, right away.
You're bound to succeed, you've got a very good start.
And
and I will be a perfect woodman
With a happy, healthy heart.
Hi, may I help you? Okay, was this for birth control or a pregnancy test or what?
When you come in, they'll explain to you why.
Okie doke. So you want to come down this Thursday at 3:30?
For birth control?
And do you have any...
Family planning means more than you may have thought. For information or help, call the family planning clinic in your community, your local health department, or your own physician.
You know, listening to the news today, it sometimes seems we only hear bad news about bad kids. Well, in this series of reports, I'm delighted to bring you some good news about good kids. And I can't think of a better example than young Gilbert Gilbays right here, recently chosen Boy of the Year by the Boys Clubs of America. Gil, it's a pleasure to have you with us today. And I'm delighted you're here, but tell me, is it true are most young people today on that soap opera road to ruin?
They sure aren't, Mr. Swayze. But that doesn't mean that they don't have problems. They've got lots of them, from drug abuse and VD through broken homes and lack of jobs. But thanks to organizations like the Boys Clubs of America, most young people today have a real chance to become good, solid citizens.
Well, thanks, Gil, for that fine report. And ladies and gentlemen, this is John Cameron Swayze, urging you to help spread good news about good kids and build juvenile decency through the Boys Clubs of America.
Happy Easter. And it can be just that for thousands of your neighbors if you buy Easter seals. You help make it possible for the National Easter Seal Society to help crippled children and adults. Their handicaps can be overcome with your contributions. Won't you keep that in mind when you're asked? Thank you.
Keeping all the family safe and happy should be part of the planning for a joyful motoring vacation. Children should be in the back seat where they won't distract the driver. Doors should always be locked. Don't try for maximum daily mileage. The day's schedule should include brief stops for a swim, a picnic lunch, or a short break at a roadside park or playground. Too frequent stops to answer young cries of hunger and thirst can be avoided by carrying a handy supply of snacks, such as fruit and an insulated jug of water or juice. A damp sponge in a plastic bag will help in instant cleanup, and a litter bag is a must. Games, including the whole family, such as a contest to spot different objects, provide easy entertainment en route. Overnight stops should provide enough rest for a fresh start to another day of new family fun.
Here are the toys I promised.
Thanks a million, Louie, for contributing to our toy drive.
Glad to. Help clean out the closets.
The kids will really appreciate this.
My pleasure.
Say, I don't think we can use this one. The edges are too sharp.
Huh.
Well, better not take this one either. Look at that point. The squeeze, Troy. That little part can be swallowed. Too loud. Could hurt little ears. Uh-oh, is this lead paint?
I don't know.
Sorry, Louie, you can't be too careful with toys. Next time, make sure they're all safe before you buy them.
For further information, write or phone toll-free the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission.
Walk the paths where history was made. It all comes alive in your national parks, where their story, your history, is reenacted. Behind the gunfire, before the applause. Experts do painstaking research and restoration work to make everything exactly as it was, so that the bicentennial will come alive for you in your national parks. Walk the paths where history was made, to famous homes, and the homes of the earliest Americans, to see what they did and what some still do. Places to touch your history.
If you're one of 3 million Americans who ride a motorcycle, be a man. Motorcyclist against noise. Today's modern motorcycles are engineered to run quietly. Quietly enough to meet present and projected U.S. government anti-noise standards. To keep them quiet, be a man. Motorcyclist against noise. Avoid unnecessary acceleration. Avoid the temptation to substitute an expansion chamber for the muffler. And don't remove baffles from the factory-installed muffler. All you'll get is more noise, less performance. So if you're one of 3 million Americans who ride a motorcycle, be a man. Motorcyclist against noise.
Today I'm a man.
Motorcyclist against noise.
I'm Mike Balzano, the Director of Action, the Federal Volunteer Agency. Action is probably best known for its Peace Corps and VISTA programs. But Action has other exciting programs in which 185,000 older Americans age 60 and over are active. They serve in the Foster Grandparent Program, the Senior Companion Program, the Retired Senior Volunteer Program. Action salutes its older American volunteers.
Like I go to help my intern and the film stops. Sorry about that. Dang it. Yeah, it looks like it lost tension. But yeah, it's 2:03. We should call it. Thanks for tuning in today. Yeah, that totally threw me off. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button, if you liked what you saw today, because we like that, and it's free and it's easy to do. You can also, if you like what we did today, we have other films available at avgeeks.com, and there's a 24/7 channel there. You can also donate to AV Geeks at patreon.com/avgeeks, or buy us coffee, which I think I might be needing. I might need a little bit of caffeine oomph. So you can go to ko-fi.com/avgeeks, and you can donate there. So thanks so much for tuning in today. Very much appreciate it. Beware of the rewind devil, who is counter to the please rewind, love each other, can. These are things that we found in film cans as we were going through them. Board students who I guess were in the library drew these things. But everybody have a great rest of your day and weekend, and we'll be back on Monday. Everybody take care. It's great to see you and to read your comments. Take care.